The Jedi live in a dream. An acolyte kills the dream.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Star Wars Anna, and today we're diving deep into episode 1 of Star Wars The Acolyte, titled Lost and Found. There's a ton to unpack here, so let's get started. First, let's set the stage. The Acolyte takes place in the High Republic era, specifically about 100 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. To put that in perspective, it's roughly 25 years before Palpatine is even born. During this time, Yoda is the Grand Master of the Jedi Council, and the Order is at its zenith with thousands of active Jedi across the galaxy. Our story revolves around twin sisters, May and Osha. Born to a coven of Force witches, they share a Force dyad, a rare and powerful connection similar to what we saw between Kylo Ren and Rey in the sequel trilogy. This dyad is crucial to the plot, so keep it in mind as we move forward. The episode opens with a bang. We see May, now aligned with the dark side, engaged in an intense fight with Jedi Master Endora, played by Carrie-Anne Moss. The choreography here is reminiscent of The Matrix, which is a nice nod to Moss's previous work. It showcases May's deadly skills and immediately sets the tone for the series. One interesting detail to note: May's weapons seem to be poisoned or made of a special material, as a single strike proves fatal to Endora. This is a departure from what we've seen in other Star Wars media, where characters often survive more severe injuries. It raises the stakes and shows just how dangerous May has become. May's mission is clear. She's killing Jedi and collecting their lightsaber crystals to create her own Sith lightsaber. For those unfamiliar, Sith lightsabers are made by bleeding the kyber crystals, pouring their hate and emotion into them to turn them red. This mission underscores the series' exploration of the Sith's rise and their long-term plans to undermine the Jedi. Meanwhile, we catch up with Osha, who's left the Jedi Order and is working as a mechanic on a Trade Federation ship. She hasn't used the Force in 6 years, which mirrors Grogu's situation where his skills waned after hiding his abilities. However, things are about to change for Osha. She starts having intense Force visions of May, whom she believed dead. These visions are more than just memories. They're a real-time connection between the sisters, similar to the Force bond we saw between Kylo Ren and Rey. Through these visions, Osha learns a shocking truth. May started the fire that killed their coven. It's likely she was manipulated by the Sith, setting up a major conflict for the series. The presence of the Trade Federation is worth noting here. It ties directly back to the Phantom Menace, helping to ground the series in its timeline and showing the early stages of the Trade Federation's rise to power. Now, let's talk about the Jedi Temple scenes. We're introduced to Master Soul, played by Lee Young-jae. His character is fascinating. He delivers a speech to young Jedi about the importance of seeing beyond appearances. This theme of deception and looking deeper is central to the series and ties into the mistaken identity plot with May and Osha. Master Soul also warns of political enemies plotting against the Jedi. This foreshadows the Sith's long-term plan to undermine the Order, a plan that Palpatine will eventually perfect. It's interesting to see the early stages of this plot, long before the events of the prequel trilogy. We also meet Vernestra Urvo, a character some of you might recognize from the High Republic novels and comics. She's now a Jedi Master and Council member, providing a nice connection to the broader High Republic storyline. Her presence bridges the gap between the written material and this new series. The episode concludes with a chilling scene. May meeting a mysterious Sith Master. This character, whose identity remains hidden under a modulated voice, declares May the new Sith apprentice. This moment sets up the core conflict of the series: the rise of the Sith and the eventual fall of the Jedi. It also raises intriguing questions about the identity of this Sith Master. Could it be a character we know, like Darth Plagueis? Or someone entirely new? Now, let's dive into some of the key themes and elements to watch for as the series progresses. The duality of light and dark. This is embodied perfectly in May and Osha. Their opposing paths mirror the larger conflict between Jedi and Sith. It'll be interesting to see how their relationship evolves over the course of the series. Deception and appearances. Master Soul emphasizes the importance of seeing beyond what's visible. This theme is likely to play out in multiple ways throughout the series, both in terms of character interactions and the larger political landscape. The seeds of the Jedi's decline. We're witnessing the beginning of the end for the Jedi Order. Pay attention to how political maneuvering and overconfidence play into this. The Jedi are at their peak, but their enemies are already working to bring them down. The long game of the Sith. The series is showing us how the Sith operate in secret, slowly working to undermine the Jedi and the Republic. This long-term planning is a crucial part of Sith philosophy and strategy, Force abilities and connections. The Force dyad between May and Osha is a unique element that could lead to some interesting developments. We might see new Force abilities or different ways of using the Force compared to what we've seen in other Star Wars media. Let's also talk about some of the visual elements and Easter eggs in this episode. The title design of the Acolyte is rich with symbolism. It starts with a planet-like shape, with blue and red elements representing the light and dark sides of the Force. This eclipse imagery symbolizes the relationship between May and Osha and the overarching theme of the dark side eclipsing the light. The architecture on the planet Uiter, introduced at the beginning, is a clear nod to Ralph McQuarrie's original concept art for Star Wars. These visual cues help to maintain the classic Star Wars aesthetic in this new series. The blue Star Wars title treatment, rather than the Sith red seen in Ahsoka, establishes the series' time frame before the rise of the Empire. However, the ominous music hints at the return of the Sith, creating an interesting contrast. As we look forward to future episodes, there are several questions and theories to consider. How will May and Osha's relationship evolve? Will they eventually confront each other, and what will be the outcome of that confrontation? Who is the Sith Master, and what are their ultimate goals? Are they a character we've heard of before, or someone entirely new to the Star Wars universe? How will the series explore the Force prophecy about the Chosen One? Will we see the origins of this prophecy? What role will Vernestra Rorwo play in the unfolding events? As a council leader, her decisions could have significant implications for the Jedi Order. Will we see any familiar faces from other Star Wars media? Characters like Yoda and Plo Koon are alive during this period, so cameos or mentions are possible. The Acolyte is shaping up to be a crucial piece of Star Wars lore, filling in the gaps about how the Sith regained power and set the stage for the events of the Phantom Menace and beyond. It's giving us a deeper look at the High Republic era, expanding on what we've seen in the novels and comics. What did you think of this first episode? Are you excited to see how May and Osha's story unfolds? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Star Wars content. May the Force be with you.